Zhongjing, the sage of medicine. Zhongjing, approximately 150–219 AD, a renowned medical practitioner of the late Eastern Han Dynasty, is revered as the sage of medicine, and is one of the most famous traditional Chinese medical scholars. He not only laid the foundation for many medical theories but also summarized rich clinical experience through practice, significantly influencing the development of traditional Chinese medicine, TCM. Brief biography. Zhongjing, whose given name was Ji and courtesy name Zhongjing, was born in what is now Dengzhou, Nanyang, Henan Province, present-day Tengge County, Nanyang, Henan Province. He lived during the late Eastern Han period, an era marked by frequent wars, economic hardship, and widespread plagues, which left the population suffering greatly from diseases. Born into an official family, Zhongjing received a good education through his family background in his youth and once served as the governor of Changsha. Outside his official career, Zhang was deeply passionate about medicine. He apprenticed under famous doctors, diligently studied TCM theory, and accumulated a vast amount of valuable experience through long-term practice. After witnessing plagues ravaging the land and the deaths of family members due to illness, he vowed to relieve the suffering of the people. Based on the medical achievements of his predecessors, he authored the important medical text treatise on cold damage and miscellaneous diseases, Shenghan Za Bing Lun. Medical Thoughts and Achievements Treatise on Cold Damage and Miscellaneous Diseases. Zhongjing's medical theories are primarily embodied in his book, Treatise on Cold Damage and Miscellaneous Diseases, which summarizes his lifetime clinical experience. It is divided into two parts: Treatise on Cold Damage and Essential Prescriptions from the Golden Cabinet. The book systematically discusses the treatment methods of external diseases and internal disorders, establishing the foundation for clinical treatment in TCM. Treatise on Cold Damage, a text focused on treating external diseases, especially cold damage. Zhongjing introduced the theory of 6 channels differentiation, categorizing diseases into 6 stages: Taiyang, Yangming, Shaoyang, Taiyan, Shaoyan, and Juyan, according to the progression of the disease. This theory has laid an essential foundation for the treatment of external diseases in later TCM. Essential Prescriptions from the Golden Cabinet mainly discusses the diagnosis and treatment of miscellaneous diseases, including internal, gynecological, pediatric, and other diseases. Zhongjing detailed the causes, pathology, diagnosis, and treatment of common illnesses and proposed many classic prescriptions, such as Sawu Tang and Bajun Tang, which are still widely used today. The 4 diagnostic methods. Zhongjing summarized and developed the 4 diagnostic methods: looking, listening, smelling, questioning, and pulse taking, laying the foundation for the diagnostic system of TCM. Looking: diagnosis, observation, judging the condition through the patient's appearance, such as complexion, body shape, and tongue coating. Listening, smelling: diagnosis, judging symptoms by listening to the patient's voice, breathing, and observing odors. Questioning: diagnosis, understanding the patient's medical history and symptoms by asking questions. Pulse taking: diagnosis, judging the condition by feeling the patient's pulse. 6 channels differentiation. Zhongjing's 6 channels differentiation theory divides the progression of disease into 6 stages: Taiyang, Yangming, Shaoyang, Taiyan, Shaoyan, and Juyan. Each stage involves different pathological mechanisms, symptoms, and treatments. This method of differentiation made the progression of disease more systematic and targeted, becoming a significant theory in TCM clinical practice. Yin-yang harmony theory. Zhongjing emphasized the balance of yin and yang, believing that disease arises from the imbalance of these 2 forces in the body. His treatments focused on strengthening the body's resistance and expelling pathogens, adjusting the yin-yang balance to cure disease. This idea of yin-yang harmony profoundly influenced later developments in TCM. Representative prescriptions. Zhongjing proposed numerous classic prescriptions in his treatise on cold damage and miscellaneous diseases, which are still widely used today. Some of the famous ones include: 1. Guiji decoction. Used to treat external wind, cold, fever, and headaches, promoting sweating and relieving the exterior. 2. Mawang decoction. For treating exterior cold with strong symptoms, promoting sweating and relieving asthma. 3. Sawu decoction. A classic formula for gynecological conditions, particularly regulating menstruation and nourishing the blood. 4. Baihu decoction. Treating Yangming excess heat syndromes, clearing heat, and generating fluids to alleviate thirst. 5. Xiao Chaihu decoction. Used for treating Xiaoyang syndromes, harmonizing the liver and gallbladder, and relieving heat. 6. Da Chaihu decoction. For Yangming heat syndromes, clearing heat, detoxifying, and promoting bowel movements. These prescriptions were widely used in Zhongjing's time and remain popular in TCM today. Influence on later generations. Zhongjing's medical theories and practices had a profound impact on the development of TCM. His differentiation-based treatment methods laid the foundation for clinical TCM, and his treatise on cold damage and miscellaneous diseases remains a classic text for both learning and practice in TCM. Pioneer of differentiation-based treatment through his treatise on cold damage and miscellaneous diseases, Zhongjing established the differentiation-based treatment system, providing a theoretical basis for the development of TCM. His 6 channels differentiation and 4 diagnostic methods greatly influenced later TCM practice. Founder of prescription science, Zhongjing's summary of many prescriptions became an essential part of later TCM prescription science. His prescriptions, particularly those in treatise on cold damage and miscellaneous diseases, are still widely used due to their precise effects and rigorous composition, offering valuable clinical experience to future generations of practitioners. Respected by later generations, Zhongjing was honored as the sage of medicine, and his treatise on cold damage and miscellaneous diseases was lauded as the mother of TCM. Starting from the Song dynasty, generations of medical scholars, such as Cheng Wuji's Shenghen Mingli Lun in the Song dynasty and Kei Qin's Shenghen Lai Su Ji in the Qing dynasty, conducted in-depth studies and commentaries on Zhang's theories. Folklore and legends. In addition to his practical contributions, many anecdotes and legends about Zhongjing have been passed down through generations, enhancing his reputation among the people and highlighting his noble medical ethics and superb skills. Here are some famous tales associated with Zhongjing. Zhongjing saves his fellow villagers. It is said that when Zhongjing was young, he returned to his hometown and found that many of his neighbors suffered from diseases, particularly frostbite on their ears during winter. Distressed by this, he devised a simple treatment and prevention method. On the winter solstice, he set up a medicinal stand at the city gate, preparing a medicinal broth and creating medicine dumplings, shaped like ears, filled with medicinal herbs and wrapped in dough. Villagers who drank the broth and ate the dumplings were cured of frostbite. This is said to be the origin of dumplings, a tradition continued to this day. Conclusion. Zhongjing, as one of the greatest physicians in ancient China, laid the foundation for TCM's theory and clinical practice, significantly influencing its development. His treatise on cold damage and miscellaneous diseases established the framework for treating external diseases and internal disorders, and he is rightfully regarded as the sage of medicine. 4.0